Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to you brothers that are laboring and pushing this word in true sincerity and with charity. I'm the brother Abraham from the camp here in GMS Chicago. Come to do another quick lesson through the Holy Spirit, Lord willing that be edifying. And this video is going to be on, just this article came across. Something Bill Gates has said. Okay, this is from Mag Daily News. Bill Gates, quote, "We're going to have a hung election and a civil war." Okay. And then what do you see here in this picture? Epstein, Bill Gates, and other people of power. JP Morgan executive, and all these, so-called rich men of power. At the end of the day, they're just puppets for the elite poster boys. Alright, but nevertheless, they got inside info and they know what's going on behind the scenes. Alright, but let's go ahead and get into this article. It says Bill Gates, who got rich by poorly copying the look and feel of Steve Jobs' Macintosh, selling it to peddlers of cheap junky PCs, using the resulting monopoly to push other office suites off the Windows platform in favor of his, is worried about domestic polarization in America, causing him to seemingly predict a hung election and civil war at some point in the future. Okay, looked up polarization because I didn't know what the hell that meant. Says it's a divergence of political attitudes away from center towards ideological extremes. Most discussions of polarization in political science consider polarization in the context of political parties and domestic systems of government. Alright, so you got the Republicans and the Democrats, the right, the left, and now the media is always, lately obsessed over Trump and making him the scapegoat and blaming him for everything, as well as Putin. Everything's their fault. Nothing's their fault. But they're like creating this opposition that they're the problem and they need to go. And at all costs, we need to stop them. Okay, and scriptures talk about these things, man. Over the last couple of years, man. Second Ezra 15 and 16 have been coming out like never before. Alright, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Alright, as it says in Sirach 39, right? They shall be occupied prophecies. Right, Revelations 19 and 10. The spirit of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. So you have the spirit of Yahweh Shai, you're gonna prophesy. You're gonna speak this word, prophesy what is to come. And what is to come? Lamentations, mourning, woe. Right? It says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Okay, faithful and true. Faithful is he that promises. Alright, none of these things shall fail. What things? These prophecies shall not fail. Alright, they haven't failed yet, and they won't fail in the times to come. As we can clearly see, everything is falling into place. Alright, we see World War III on the horizon at our doors. We see the MOTB on the horizon at our doors. Alright, we see Jacob's trouble coming on the horizon. We see all these things, man. Alright, Most High gave us prudence, wisdom, understanding, knowledge. Alright, and we're what? Paying attention to the signs of the time so we can measure the time. And everything points to the Most High coming back real soon. Real soon. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So, shall their unbelief make void the word of the Most High? God forbid. Alright? God be true and every man a liar. So who cares what these people think, what their vain opinion is, if they believe or don't believe, man. They ain't got the faith. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring place upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And what? There was a recent article that came out. Let me see if I can find it. Right, here we go. World faces unprecedented global hunger crisis, UN chief says. Alright, so there's also famine on the horizon. Sword on the horizon. Death on the horizon. Destruction on the horizon. Why? It says, for wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Alright, so the Most High let their iniquities and their sins pile up so that they could be judged, man. Same thing with Sodom. Alright, same thing with all the previous world powers. Right, they all had their time to rule. And they all had their time to fall. As it says in, let's go ahead and grab it in Psalms. Psalm 75. And I'm going to start at 4. It says, I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn. Lift not up your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck, which they do. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But God is the judge. He putteth down one, and setteth up another. And the Most High has set up this man in rulership today. Right? Esau Edom, the basest of all men, the vilest of all men. Alright? He set him up to rule this world. Alright? But not forever. It says the joy of the hypocrites for a moment. Alright? So where was I at? Let's go back to this article. Alright, it says, let's see, let me just skip down to the point. It says, Gates, who predicted a pandemic back in 2015, is still worried about domestic polarization in the U.S., which he sees little hope for in the short term. I admit that political polarization may bring it all to an end. We're going to have a hung election and a civil war. I have no expertise in that. I'm not going to divert my money to that because I wouldn't know how to spend it. whatever the fuck that means. Alright, but heard it out of the devil's mouth. Stupid guy. So let's go ahead and continue in the second verse 15. It says, therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Alright, just as it says in Ezekiel 9:4. Right? Let's go ahead and grab that. I haven't brought that out not so long. Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord said unto them, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right? And that word mark, right, in the Hebrew is tawah, which means exemption from judgment. So these men are going to be exempt from what? The sword, famine, death, and destruction. Okay, they're going to be exempt from all that. Right? Because what? They cried for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. All the things we see. Look, this is something I came across as well while I was like looking at articles in the news. It says New Jersey school must teach middle schoolers
Anywhere,
about
anytime.
anal sex.
PointsBet.
Oh, sorry,
Do
there's
it
an ad
live.
here. How do I get rid of this?
So they
There we go. New Jersey schools must teach middle schoolers about anal sex, pregnancy options, or risk disciplinary action. Alright, and who are the leaders of the system to like implement these things? Right? Esau, Edom. Right? They control literally everything in every category in every department. Alright, to push their wine, their doctrine, their way of living, which is ultimately contrary to the scriptures and everything that is right, to normalize wickedness, to normalize abomination. And it's pretty much already to that point where people defend these things. Okay. So yeah, that alone, man, is like, what the fuck? Like, how? You know, it's surprising, but yet it's not surprising, because the scriptures say that evil shall increase, wickedness shall increase. Alright, all these things. Okay. But nevertheless, let's continue. Alright, the innocent and righteous blood cried unto the Most High, the souls of the just complain continually. It says, and therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Right, and it also reminds me of Abel when he was slain by Cain. Right, his blood cried unto the Most High. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And this is Egypt 2.0. Egypt all over again. A lot of the stories in our captivities in the Bible that we read about is we're literally in the same situation, just in a different time. Right? As we were in Babylon, as we were in Egypt, as we were in Assyria. Alright, as we were under the Romans. Alright, it's the same thing going on. Alright, we're still found under our oppression. We're still, to this day, in our captivity. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. So what? Has this happened yet? Is this speaking about literal, physical Egypt in the Middle East? No. It's talking about here in America. Alright? Revelations 11:8. The dead body shall lie in the street of that great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail, through the blasting and hail, and with fearful constellation. And you're seeing this happening now. You're seeing those that till the ground, your farmers and your agriculturals in that field, warning of famine. All right. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Destruction to the world and them that are in. For their sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Right? Bill Gates, we're going to have a hung election and a civil war. He's right on that. The scriptures speak on that. Just read it. It says, for there shall be sedition among men. Let's see what that word sedition means. Sedition. Search Google for sedition. Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. It says that tends towards rebellion against the established order. Sedition often includes subversion of a constitution or an incitement of discontent toward or insurrection against established authority, which we're seeing that already. We're seeing that now. Alright, it's going to increase. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Martial law, we saw a preview of that during the pandemic. For because of their pride, and cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. Right? Again, going back to the famine. Right? Alright, now let me go ahead and grab Genesis 9. Let me just read the first couple of verses. Right, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, right, there was already one in, I believe, Taiwan and Mexico, right, and uproars of the people in the world. And you have hurricanes going on hitting Puerto Rico, I believe Cuba now, I believe it's heading towards Tampa now. Alright. So yeah, man, we're at the end times, man. Let me read this here. 208. It was either 50 or 60. Right, 208 and 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them, that in the latter time, which is now, shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Alright, pride is in Sirach it says that the beginning of pride is the one that parted from his maker. Nobody in this world knows the Lord, understands the Lord. Alright, let's just go ahead and grab this here in Hosea. Hosea 4:1. It says that, hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, because the Lord had a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. I want to look that word up, controversy. Disagreement, typically when prolonged, public, and heated. The Lord is heated with his people, with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land, and there isn't. Right? And when they do hear it from the prophets, they don't want anything to do with it, man. Alright? They don't want anything to do with these scriptures, with what the Most High says and was righteous and right. They want to continue on with their wickedness. They want to continue on in this captivity, just as they wanted to go back during the time of Egypt. Okay? It's the same people. Same people, different time. Alright? Yeah, we're going to see the same thing again. Now Israel made it to the promised land, man. Alright? Only Joshua, Caleb, and the little children. Which that was symbolic. Joshua, alright, represented the northern kingdom. Caleb represented the southern kingdom. A shadow of things to come. Okay? And the elect of those two nations are coming back together. Alright, those two sticks joining up to be one stick. Alright, through the spirit, but it's only through the elect, the remnant, right? The remnant. Let me go ahead and just finish off with that in Isaiah. I believe it's 1 and 9. Isaiah 1 and 9, except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, that's the elect, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. We would have been destroyed. We should have been destroyed. And the Most High did not. Left us a very small remnant. Right? And the Most High is coming back to avenge his elect speedily from the destruction and wickedness that's to come. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and end there. Lord willing, this video was edifying. As always, all honor, glory, and praises goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rukakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Until the next time, Shalom.